Welcome to the Hardcore Files. By 1984, punk had officially fractured. Circle jerks were cracking jokes. Minor Threat was done. Black Flag turned into a weird sludge experiment. And meanwhile, kids in denim vests were combining Slayer riffs with gang vocals. Hardcore wasn't dying, it was mutating. Records that crack skulls, not charts. But these were the pillars. Cro-Mags, The Age of Quarrel, 1986. New York City. Absolute warzone energy. Hardcore meets metal meets street gang philosophy. We Gotta Know was a mosh pit incantation. Still one of the hardest records ever made. Dag Nasty, Can I Say, 1986. From the ashes of Minor Threat came melody and emotion. Hardcore grew up without growing soft. Circles.
I never bothered to lift a finger to make my point.
And Under the Influence laid the groundwork for emo core without whining. Youth of Today, Break Down the Walls, 1986. This was straight edge turning into a full-blown movement. Militant, positive, faster than caffeine withdrawals. Connecticut took the flag, and they ran with it. DRI, Crossover, 1987. One word. Genre breaking. That's two. They went from 22-second punk blast to thrash metal riff machines. 5-year plan was a blueprint for 1,000 crossover bands. Black Flag, My War. This pissed everyone off. Half hardcore, half slow, miserable sludge. Side B is either genius or Rollins having a mental breakdown on tape.
Do you think a time will come when music like Black Flags will be more widely accepted than it is today and maybe dominate the airwaves?
No, I mean, you see what gets on radio now. You see what appeals to the masses. It's very plastic, inhuman, distant.
I'll let you decide. In 7 seconds, Walk Together, Rock Together, 1985. Positivity, unity. And hooks. Without losing the edge. Hardcore for humans, I say, not just angry kids. Hardcore wasn't just fast. It was unstable. Scenes imploded. Bands turned on each other. Venues shut down. Cities became battlegrounds. Washington, D.C. burned itself down. Again. Minor Threat was dead. But Rites of Spring and Embrace started playing emotional hardcore. They didn't call it emo, but everyone else would soon. New York hardcore exploded. The Lower East Side was a war zone. Agnostic Front. War Zone. Murphy's Law. Leeway. Violence, loyalty, brotherhood. Skinheads, punks, and hardcore kids side by side until someone got hit. The Boston crew turned full monk mode. Bands like Slapshot pushed straight edge into aggression. It wasn't just a lifestyle. It was a code. You drank, you were out. Skinhead subculture split. You had Sharp, which stood for Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice.
It was the music that helped us understand these things more clearly. It was the voice of the artist and the message in the music that helped us connect the dots and go,
and you had
that's
Nazi
that thing
trash
I've been feeling.
trying to hijack shows.
And the Baldies and the White Knights were both there. And I remember that Paul Hollis had thrown down one of the Baldies in the pit, a little guy. And I remember Patty sticking his finger in Paul Hollis's eye and saying, "You're done, you're done."
Fights broke out. Bands like Dead Kennedys and Subhumans drew lines in blood.
Nazi punks, fuck off, take 3.
Venues crumbled. Police shut down gigs weekly. DIY fests like Maximum Rock and Rolls, Not So Quiet on the Western Front, tried to hold the line. Chaos wasn't a phase, but it was the fuel. Here's where the gold hides. Forgotten by the mainstream, worshipped by the real ones. Die Kreuzen, October File, 1986. You thought they were fast? Now they're weird as hell. The Offenders, Endless Struggle, 1985. Texas Hardcore, speedy, smart, and mean, influenced everyone from DRI to Power Trip. Beefeater, Plays for Lovers, 1985. Funk, punk, jazz, hardcore. Yep, DC weirdness. You could draw a straight line from this to Fugazi. Verbal Assault, Learn, 1987. Melodic hardcore from Rhode Island. Criminally overlooked. Honest, raw, precise. Septic Death. Now that I have the attention, what do I do with it? 1984. Dirge. Speed. Noise. Pushheads band. Yep, that Pushhead. This was the start of the crust. Ugly, beautiful chaos. There is a deep cut of the era, in my opinion. Bl'ast, The Power of Expression, 1986. Santa Cruz Maniacs. Imagine Black Flag after 18 bong rips and a metal breakdown. Pure rage. Mangled riffing. Absolute cult classic. Hardcore's fingerprints started showing up everywhere, even if the world didn't know it. Thrash metal owes hardcore a beer, because Metallica opened for DRI. Anthrax worshipped Agnostic Front, and Slayer, straight up hardcore speed with solos. This crossover was inevitable. Skate culture went nuclear. Videos like The Search for Animal Chin had soundtracks packed with McRad, JFK, The Faction. Punk was skateboarding. Zines ruled. Maximum Rock and Roll, Flipside, Slug and Lettuce. These weren't just magazines. They were the internet before the internet. Book your tour, start a band, bash Reagan, all in one stapled zine. Hollywood took notice, but they got it wrong. Return of the Living Dead had punks. Yeah, sure. But they were cartoon punks. Real punks were too busy setting up basement shows. So from 1984 to 1987, hardcore didn't fade. It detonated. Every band split in a different direction. Metalcore, emo, grind, crust, post-hardcore, skate punk. This was the era of expansion through destruction. Everything broke, and everything grew. But tell me, Cro-Mags are youth of today. Who defined mid-80s hardcore? And what's the best crossover album ever? And which band from this era never got the respect they deserved? Sound off, and remember, hardcore doesn't care what you think. It only asks one question. Are you in or in the way? I'm Fred Carroll for Headbangers History.